What is going on, everyone? I'm back with another top 10 list. This time, the top 10 games that I hated the most playing. It's all because of this comment right here. This is my sister, and it's actually a pretty good suggestion. So thanks for that, sis. I decided to kind of do what she suggested because, I mean, we've all had a game or two that we really didn't like playing. And I think this is a good list, and I think this is a good idea. So let's get into this. So, coming in at number 10 is a game called 50 Cent Bulletproof. Now, I have nothing against 50 Cent. I dig a lot of his music, but when this game came out on PS2, I borrowed it from a friend. I didn't buy it for myself. I checked it out, and the one thing that I kind of had against the game is it tried to be like GTA, and it failed because it was kind of the same thing, but you had all the guns and the shooting and the storyline that wasn't really there. So I don't know, for me playing this game, it felt like it was a mess. It felt like the game itself didn't really know what it wanted to be, and in releasing the game, I don't think anyone really knew what to do with the game, and that's why it's just on the no playlist for me. It's something that I did not enjoy, and it's something that I didn't even finish because it was just it was bad. It was really bad. Next on the list is a game that came out on PlayStation 3. It's called Ride to Hell Retribution. I really don't have anything good to say about this game. The storyline sucked. That's the first thing. I mean, I will overlook bad graphics if the storyline is worth it. This game had a horrible storyline, first of all. Second, the graphics were abysmal. It was clunky, it was messy, and for PlayStation 3, I was surprised that this game even got released. When it comes to the voice acting, I think the acting coach was probably like a second grader because it didn't make any sense. It was horribly done. You felt no emotion from any character in the game at any given point, and it's just it sucked. It was a bad game. If you've never played any of the two games that I just mentioned, feel free to skip them because I think that you can do a lot better things with your time than play these games. Coming in at number 8 is the Rambo video game. It was it could have been a nice game if they didn't use the soundtrack from the movies. That kind of threw me off completely. It was dumb, it was unnecessary, and I think that if the creators of the game just took a little bit more time and thought about really which direction they want to go in with the game, it could have been good. But this was just a shit show. It's the best way I can put it. This was not a good game. So I'm sorry, as a fan of the films, I'm a big Rambo fan, but the game was bad. It's bad. So if you haven't played it, don't. You've got better things to do with your time. Believe you me. Number 7, Metal Gear Survive. The Metal Gear games as a whole, I actually enjoyed. The ones starting on PS1 all the way to the new ones. They were quite good. Metal Gear Survivor, I don't know. It's like they wanted to try to take Metal Gear into a new direction, and they failed horribly. Metal Gear isn't supposed to be this zombie game. It's better than that. It's it's Metal Gear, for crying out loud. So I hated this game so much, and I think that it it's clear because almost nobody liked the game. It was met with a horrible reception, horrible reviews, and playing it for myself, I could tell why. It was just a bad game. I'll skip it any day. Just it's bad. It's really bad. Um, Number 6, Aliens Colonial Marines. As a fan again of all the movies, when this game came out, I was excited to check something out that was based on movies that I enjoyed watching. Loading into the game, I immediately realized that they tried to make it feel as much like a video game as possible, and it didn't work. It really didn't work. The graphics were but the storyline sucked. The whole idea of the game was kind of like, you play the game, and when you play a game that has a good story, you're invested. You sit there, but the whole game through, you kind of think to yourself, okay, but where is this going? What's the point? And that's how you feel through the entire game. There's nowhere that you feel, okay, you know what? Yeah, I spent my time well. I enjoyed what I did. So Aliens Colonial Marines was just bad. I did not enjoy that game at all. Like not a single part of it. So it's skip worthy, really. It's rather go for Alien Isolation. Brilliant game. It's brilliant compared to Aliens Colonial Marines. It's a good game. That's a good Alien game. Number 5, I would have to say Dead Island. As most of the people on the channel and from the previous video already know, I'm not a big zombie fan. Like The Last of Us 1 threw me for a loop. I never thought that I would enjoy a game like that. I loved the game. That being said, some other zombie games out there kind of gets your attention, and is enjoyable. But the Dead Island games, it's like somebody had the idea, okay, let's make a zombie game, and they went into it, and it's a very meh feeling throughout the entire game. Once you've played a couple of missions and got to know every kind of zombie, it's like, okay, it's done. The game isn't scary at all, for people that actually want to play a zombie game for the scary feeling. It failed miserably in that aspect for me. I didn't enjoy the feeling of the game, and I just think that it could have been better if a little more time was invested into it. But I think they kind of just pushed the release, and that's what happened. The game was underwhelming, so didn't really enjoy that. Number 4, I would have to say, would be Duke Nukem Forever. I was never a Duke Nukem big fan of Duke Nukem from the beginning, but Duke Nukem Forever kind of feels like one of those low budget movies that it's going to be bad, and then you go into it, and then it's kind of entertaining, and you feel like you didn't waste your time. Except for Duke Nukem was not entertaining at all. It was just a horrible game from start to finish. The voice acting was stupid. The storyline was dumb. The graphics were shitty for the time period that it released in, and it was just a bad game. I did not enjoy it. I do not recommend it, and it's it's just bad. It's a horrible game. Oh man. Coming in at number 3, I would have to say is Thief, the one that released on PS3 and PS4. For me, going into the game, from the beginning, it felt like the creators wanted to take the game in a certain direction. And then halfway through, it's like they said, okay, this direction really isn't working for us. Let's try something new. And then they kind of just shift you into a new direction. And then, the game starts to feel a bit uneasy, like, okay, but what exactly is the idea behind this? And then it shifts you into a new direction. And then you're like, okay, you end up being more confused by what they were trying to do than you end up actually just enjoying the game for what it is and playing it for what it was supposed to be. And for those reasons, Thief has to be on the list of games that I did not enjoy at all. It's one of those things where you're either into what you're playing or you're not. And I could not, for the life of me, get into this game. I couldn't. It's that bad. Coming in at number 2 is Far Cry Primal. Now, I'm a big fan of the Far Cry series. I played them from the first one right through. And, for me, Far Cry Primal was one of those games where, yes, they had the idea for this game. And yes, it was a new twist on the game, but a horrible one. Far Cry Primal for me felt like, you're used to a certain play style in the game. And they wanted to incorporate it in this one, but taking it back to the caveman era was, for me, not a good idea. I know some people actually do enjoy the game. I was severely underwhelmed. I got the game as it released, so I spent a lot of money on the game because I was a fan and I wanted to really get into this game. I was disappointed. I sold the game I think 2 or 3 weeks after I bought it because I was almost done with the story and I did not enjoy it. I finished the game, sold it, and it's just, it was horrible. It was a horrible experience. Being a fan of something and then you get the new one and you're so excited. You just want to, you want to spend all your time on this game. I ended up playing all the other games that I had in my collection before playing Far Cry Primal because it wasn't as good as the others. So that's the main reason why I didn't enjoy the game. Now, coming in at number 1 is a game called Bionic Commando. This game, I saw the cover and I read the back. And I thought, maybe this could be a good story. Maybe this could be something fun to play, something new. Loading into the game, the first thing that kind of got me to say, okay, this was a bad idea, was when I saw the graphics. For the time that it released in, the graphics were really badly done. It didn't feel like I was playing a game from that time period. Second of all, the story was kind of just thrown together. It feels like they just said, okay, this is our idea, this is the character, this is the world he's going to be in, this is his mission, and they just did it. It felt too boxed in, if that makes sense. Second of all, the fighting and movement in the game was severely underwhelming. I expected more from everything that I read about the game and everything that I saw. I expected more from the game. The game just did not make sense to me. The game felt like it was rushed, and that is why it's probably the dumbest game that I've ever played. I've never felt so robbed of my time than I did playing Bionic Commando. It's stupid. If you've never played it before, don't do this to yourself. It's bad. It's really bad. It's not a good game. Skip it. Trust me. It's very stupid. I cannot emphasize how dumb this game is. It is not worth your time. So yeah, I think there you guys go. That's the top 10 games that I hated playing and I'll never play again. I just feel like, we all have these games. If you guys have games that you've played that you feel, you shouldn't have played them, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to see what you guys have to say and what the games were that pissed you off as much as these games pissed me off. If you guys have any other suggestions of top 10s that you want to see me do on the channel, games that I've played and stuff like that, Let me know in the comments down below as well. I'd love to do another video like this one and the one that I did previously. It's actually pretty fun. Yeah, please remember to hit that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed yet. You know, I love doing the gaming content for you guys and making jokes with my friends and all of that. It's so much fun. And yeah, I guess I'll see you guys next week. Have an awesome one. Bye.